Now recording.
The following podcast may have adult humor,
Swear words.
innuendos of a adult nature.
Making fun of me.
That's a given. Everybody looks forward to that. But just know that you have been warned. How we doing, Jesse?
I'm feeling bowdy and rowdy.
Arriba La Raza and all that?
That's right.
Yeah.
It's Halloween. I'm actually feeling really good.
Yeah, we're recording this on Halloween, so happy Halloween if you
Yep.
hear it today. If you hear it tomorrow, well,
Is it All Souls Day or All Saints Day on the 1st? I know one of them.
Saints Day.
Okay.
And let's see, as per usual, unless there's like a big event coming up, there's no news. So we're gonna hop right into the Knights of the Braille library. The Knights of the Braille library. Jesse, what do you have for us?
Today, I have something that we've been trying to do horror, Halloween type things. And today, to me, screams Halloween because it is my childhood. And for some reason, I like to watch a lot of the family movie type things instead of like hardcore horror around Halloween. I watch that too, but I mean, I had to watch Halloween Town yesterday and stuff like that. So today I'm recommend the first book, but I'm recommending the whole series. Alvin Schwartz's Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. I have so many fond memories of these stories. And if you don't know, Alvin Schwartz was a folklorist who took a lot of the legends of like the Hook Man, things like that, and the you think it's a dog under the bed, but it turns out to be a murderer, stuff like that. Someone's inside your house. The call's coming from inside the house, and he put them in a form that like children could read. Like it's kind of messed up if you think about it now, but back then that's what we did. And I used to get so scared because they used to have directions in the stories. Like it would be, there's this one about a big toe, and the creature's walking around.
Yeah.
Who has my toe? Who has my toe? And then you yell, "You've got it." I used to beg my mom and beg my grandma, "Please don't yell, you've got it." It would terrify me. Grandma wouldn't do it. Mom would.
Oh, I would have done it as well.
These are great. These are 5 stars. The movie's really good too that they made.
Oh, I didn't know there was a movie.
Yeah, and I think it's on Netflix. Or it used to be.
I may have to check that out. The story, I've read the books as well, and for anybody who's interested, you can get the collection on Kindle for $18. Yeah, because we just.
And I just want to add real quick that this won't matter for Richard and I because it may matter for him because he's probably seen it. There was a big brouhaha when they changed the art. They changed the art style to make it more cartoonish and less scary. And there was a whole fundraiser and a whole blowback. They've actually replaced the original art back in the books.
So everybody wasted all of their money in fundraising.
Was the art that amazing? Like, I'm sure you saw it. Did you?
I mean, it was pretty cool as a kid. Yeah.
They said they took it. They made it more cartoonish and funny, like in the newer reissues of the book, and people were pissed.
I never saw like any of the reissues that I know of.
Okay. Yeah.
The one story I remember, well, there's 2 things I remember out of them. Off the top of my head was I believe it's in these books where the woman eats at, I want to think at like a Taco Bell or some kind of restaurant, and roaches dig into her cheek. I'm not sure if it's in that book.
There was one where a woman gave birth to spiders. There were spiders in
spiders, yes, that's what it was.
She had a spider bite.
Yes. But there was actually a story, can't remember if it was down here or not, where roaches got into a woman's cheek.
Oh my god. Yeah. So it's legit?
On the internet. I mean, I don't know how true.
That would probably kill me if that happened. I think I would just faint and be done with life.
Yeah, that would be kind of creepy. But the other story I remember is a song that we used to sing. You know, don't ever laugh as the hearse goes by, 'cause you may be the next to die. I love that little
Do you
song.
remember the song "There Wasn't a Woman All Skin and Bones"?
Yes.
We actually learned that. I don't remember it now, but we actually learned that in music class for Halloween. We had this older music teacher. She was probably in her 60s, 70s. She would play that and play the Her song. It was awesome.
Did you ever hear the Pumpkin song?
No, I don't. There's a very, now that I'm thinking about it real quick, there's a very good folk version of the Her song by Harley Poe. Look it up.
Oh yeah, I know. Me and you shared it back and forth last year, I think.
Oh, okay. What is the pumpkin song? I do not know the pumpkin song.
It's 5 little pumpkins sitting on a gate. The first one says,
maybe I do know
"Oh my, it's getting late." The second one says, "There are witches in the air." The third one says, "But we don't care." The fourth one says, "Let's run and run and run." The fifth one says, "I'm ready for some fun." Ooh, went the wind and out went the lights, and the 5 little pumpkins rolled out of sight.
See, that's the thing for me. Like we say we watch horror all year. For some reason, Halloween has like a playful feeling to me. Like I want to watch old school horror like from the 50s, and like I like songs like that. That's just what the feeling I get. Maybe it is my childhood, but that's just how I feel around this time of year.
And of course, I'm sure you've heard witch's brew, like stirring and stirring and stirring my brew.
Another good story is the one where the woman cooks the liver up for her husband, but she got it from a corpse.
Yeah.
That was in that book. Do you remember that? It's kind of like the Big Toe type of thing where like he's coming for the liver. But they actually do the Big Toe in the movie.
Oh, I may have to go check this out.
It's very good. I really enjoyed it.
I was watching George A. Romero's Night of the Living Dead as I did some exercising this morning. I love that movie.
That movie's still like it's still creepy. Like after all this time, I've seen it. I know it. There's something just about just picturing those the slow zombies are what scare me.
I think what scares me is like kid zombies.
Oh yeah,
because that's psychological too as well.
What scares me is kids singing fucking nursery rhymes.
Yeah. But I absolutely love that movie, and this is not a spoiler because if you hadn't seen it, I mean it's like 60
so hard, like years. So crushing too.
Oh, but it's so psychological as well because he survives all night. He gets through all night.
He gets taken down by these asshole rednecks.
Yeah, and there's his safety, and boom, he's dead.
George Romero was definitely trying to put a message at the end of that movie.
I think so.
Movie's so good though.
It is, but my book is somewhat on the lighter side. It's not a horror book, but it is called The Jester by James Patterson.
I read a James Patterson book.
You have or have not?
Have not. It's a name I know, but I've never, because I've heard people say he's a hack, so I've never read him.
I think he's really good. He's one of my favorites.
Okay.
This one deals with it's the Crusades. Back in the day.
Now that sounds cool.
It is.
I think I actually had this on audiobook, but never read it when I was a kid or teenager.
What, Jester?
Yes.
I can't remember how old it is.
I'm almost positive.
I've read it 2 or 3 times.
Okay.
I really, really enjoy it. Because it goes through it tells the story of them going after I can't think of the weapon now, the lance, I think is what it is.
Lance of Longinus, I think it's called, or something like that.
The one that actually pierced Christ's sides.
Right.
Yeah. But he's going after that, and he's looking for it, and they can't find it, and
that sounds really I would love that.
It is. Yes, you would. I think you'd really, really enjoy it, and I definitely recommend it. The audio version is fantastic. I like it so much, like I said, I've read it like 2 or 3 times. Bard actually has it, but I have it on my wish list to get from Audible eventually. But I also reread this weekend Mary Shelley's Frankenstein.
Oh, you finally read it because you said you wanted to read it after I read it.
Yeah.
I feel like I might read that every year.
You could. I
don't
could.
know. I always say that. I don't reread. I have a habit of not rereading because there's so much I want to read.
I like rereading certain books because it's kind of like a comfort thing from time to time.
I read The Grinch every year.
But I want to ask you, since you've read it and I just read it, did you feel sorry for the monster?
Kind of. I feel like you feel more sorry for the monster in the movie.
See, think about it. And this
I actually felt a lot more sorry than I thought I would for Victor.
Yeah, because he didn't know what he was doing, but that's the same thing with the monster.
Yeah, that's true. I feel like the movie. You've seen the original movie, right?
Yes.
I feel like the movies make him more evil than he appears in the book. At least Victor, at least in my opinion.
Victor's not evil. I mean, he was just following science.
Right.
But, you know, think about the monster. He's basically a kid.
Yeah.
He's not been taught.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
he's kind of like, he's a monster, obviously, but he reminds me of Lenny a little bit of Mice and Men.
Yeah. I mean, Lenny didn't know what he was doing.
No. I love that book, too.
Know, and at the end of it, when, you know, Victor dies, you know, the monster has some regret.
Yep.
You know, but he's basically a big kid. I felt sorry for him.
Yeah, I did too.
You know,
when you think about it that way, yeah. And I do have to say, I said they were equal, but I think it's a little better than Dracula.
See, I told you.
Not by much, but a little better.
But it's one of the better classics.
Yeah, what I want to read, and this is spinning off. There's something I want to add, though. No, I forget what it was. Have you ever read The Island of Dr. Moreau?
I have.
How's that? I've always wanted to read that.
It's all right.
Okay.
I've also read, like, you know, the older ones like that, Catch-22, what, Lord of the Flies. I really did
love that
not
book.
like. See, I didn't like it.
Oh my god, I loved it.
You know, it just, I don't know. I may have been like burnt out on reading whenever I read it. You know, but yeah,
I would give that one another chance. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was what it was. But oh man, we've talked a pretty good bit about the
final thought real quick. This will be it. We read fantasy all year. But do you ever feel like it's more fantasy like November, December, like the holiday months? For some reason, winter, I feel like reading more fantasy.
Yeah. I mean, I usually read whatever I want to read all year long.
I do too, but I get like this feeling like I want to watch the Lord of the Rings movies again. I want to do this, do that.
Yeah, I can understand that. But yeah, y'all definitely check out those books. And now we're going to move on to, I think, a section that a lot of people enjoy. So we'll be right back.
Check out these friends of Knights of the Braille.
Hello, I'm Quinn.
And I'm Alex.
And we're a couple of characters. We discuss topics related to creating characters for role-playing games.
We talk about fun characters we've created.
And give advice about how to make your own quirky characters.
Check us out every other week, wherever podcasts are found.
The creature feature. This week we'd go over the Gnoll.
Yes.
Actually going to bring in a Gnoll as well as kind of like a more specified Gnoll. Only because I love the name of it and because today is actually Halloween. We're going to go over a Gnoll. And are you ready for the other one?
I guess. I'm sitting down, so I guess I'm ready. Hit me with your best shot, Richard.
A Gnoll flesh gnawer.
Ooh, that's fun.
Now, doesn't that just sound really, really like creepy, really cool?
Flesh Gnawer sounds like a metal
No,
band.
Gnawer, like Gnawer, like gnawing.
Gnawer. Oh, that sounds like that still sounds like
Yeah.
a metal band.
It does, you know.
Coming up,
It's like
Flesh Gnawer.
yeah, opening up for gore. You know, we had the Gnoll Flesh Gnawer.
There's a band I've never gotten into, but that's
What Gwar?
yeah.
Beavis and Butthead. That it popped into my head.
Okay.
But a Gnoll, you know what a hyena is.
Yes, like in they sing in Lion King.
Yes. But these are like hyenas that have been corrupted, changed by
So they were
magic.
a real creature then.
Do what now?
Like the word no, it's not an actual like real life creature.
Well, I mean, a
Okay.
hyena is, but
Right. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
yeah, but they are corrupted by Yanagu, who we, heard about last week,
Yes.
doing the Flins. They love to do surprise attacks, and one of the things that really got me as I was reading over this is they do not like to leave any survivor behind, which it's
That
pretty
could be a
awesome.
really cool scene. Like you hack the shit out of one of them, and like one of the say he's by himself, and he goes to run away, but he's taking his fellow Gnawer fellow Gnoll that lost like all their limbs, but he's still taking the body away because he doesn't want to leave it.
Well, that's part of it, and you can look at it that way, but they're also leaving none of their enemies behind alive either.
Okay.
So yeah, I can.
Yeah.
In fact, I had not even thought about the way that you.
Oh yeah, you can do it both ways.
Yeah, which is really cool that we do this because everybody has their own like perspective.
That's just
of
what
it.
instantly popped in my head. I'm like, oh, that means
And
is it the Navy or whoever, the Marines, no man left
the
behind.
Marines, yeah, no Marine left behind.
Yeah.
And a lot of the Gnolls will fight with like long range attacks, but the Gnawer prefers like up close bloody work, if you know what I mean. Like
He prefers the personnel.
Yeah, to bite or with short swords. But they prefer like the up close. What's wet work? Wet work. I was trying to think of what it was called a while ago. But they prefer that, and in fact, they will run through battles after stragglers to basically hamstring them, and to kill them, which I thought was like pretty awesome because they had this thing called like a speed rush where whenever they go in to attack, they can move up to 60 feet more and do not provoke opportunity attack.
So I'm just picturing them like running as fast as say Sonic the Hedgehog and just going by like hamstringing the people.
Yeah,
they're still alive.
Kind of like Sonic meets the Tasmanian Devil.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, that was my first thought whenever I was reading over this, and I thought, that's a pretty awesome creature. I'd like to play one of those. It'd be really, really cool. But they are typically chaotic evil, which, I mean, go figure from the description there.
Yeah.
Yeah. However, though, when it comes to everything else, they are very, very weak. They have an AC of 14, due to studded leather. I mean, you can beat that up.
A good party will destroy that.
Yeah, I mean, you can beef them up with like different, leather or different armor and everything.
You can modify it, yeah.
Yeah. Their HP is an average of 22, which, I mean, a crit and you can take them out.
Mm-hmm.
They are a challenge rating of 1, but again, you can overwhelm them.
It's one of those things that just sound cooler than they are.
Yeah. However, they do get 3 attacks in the turn. They get 2 bite and 2 short sword attacks. The bite
isn't that
will
sword?
It's sword whenever I say it. they get a +4 to their bite and to their short sword attack. The bite will get them an average of 4 piercing damage, and the sword will get them an average of 5 piercing damage. Yeah, and and they also get a bonus action here as we're going over this. They get a rampage, and after they reduce it to 0 hit points on a melee attack, the Gnoll can move up to half its speed and makes a bite attack on another creature.
That's kind of cool.
Oh yes, it's like I said, you can an army of those, and it's very, very formidable. You know, you can do a lot with that. At least in my opinion, you could.
I agree. Welcome to Termonology Tidbits.
Termonology, there's different terminology for, different games out there. But these terminologies that we're gonna go over are, something you can use for really any game. And I'm sure there's a game out there somewhere where it wouldn't work out, but we're gonna try to do these over all tabletop games. And this one,
we're inclusive.
Sometimes. Is the letter B, and we're going with background. Jesse, tell us what a background is in your own words.
I'm looking at it as the background of a character, like the artifact or the items that you get, what your archetype is. Like one of the ones is folk hero, like you're a hero from your village. Is that the way you mean background?
Yeah. It's exactly the way.
I hate doing backgrounds, by the way. I never find any that fit.
It's the history of your character, but you also giving the game master something to work with.
I just mean like the holes you're pigeoned into if you look at like the backgrounds in the handbooks.
Yeah, I don't like where you're coming from.
I don't mind backstory and stuff like that, but those things they never fit me. I feel like
they're kind of interchangeable there, because you can write into your backstory and background like to make them one thing. I think that's really confusing for a lot of people, is that they're two different things when they're basically the same thing. At least that's how I personally look at it.
Well, then, I'm all for that. I just don't like the actual picking of the background when you create a character kind of thing.
Like you're an Outlander or you're
I don't like that. Yes, I don't like those.
I see what you're saying, but they are extremely important, and
I know.
Something that we all need to do for our characters.
Welcome to the Physical Table with Richard.
All right, Jesse. We've started doing this little segment here because, we want to showcase that someone who is visually impaired can, play with a group of sighted people, which is me.
It's me, Richard.
Yeah, sometimes. I had a lot of fun this
past. Trying to do the Mario thing, you see.
Yeah, but I told you never, ever do that again, sir.
But it wasn't my fault. I didn't start it.
Ever.
Okay.
Ever.
Okay, got it.
But I had a lot of fun this past week.
Okay.
We went to face like the lizard folk people, and we're going through the swamp to their little location, and here I am. We're supposed to get rid of them, make them, move on. However we want to deal with them, we can. So, of course, my character wants to go in there, hack and slash, chop them up, get bones, get victory, get glory.
You could roast them and eat them.
Yes. But we had a couple characters that wanted to go the diplomatic route.
Oh,
that's the boo sound here.
Boo.
So, and in fact, like split the table. I had 4 people on my side that wanted to go in hack and slash. They had 4 people on their side that wanted to,
That's a big party.
go the diplomatic route. Yeah. The game master's really, really good. And so, I mean, we had to, come to a decision and flip a coin, one way or the other. Because I wasn't budging. Nobody on my side was budging. And also, I knew that, go in there and be diplomatic. As soon as you start talking, all I got to do is say my character runs in there and starts hacking. Because I always had that backup that I could go in. Oh, yeah. But
that's
I
like you. I feel
that.
like that's you.
It is. It is. But I can do that. But if I went in first, there's no way they could try diplomatic.
Right. No.
Sure. Go in. And pretty much I was basically said, oh, sure, go in there, talk your head off. And then I started muttering like an I'll chop their head off. But, they got it. They did the diplomatic thing, got them to leave in a day. Well, we left. I wrestled the alligator just for flavor and fun, beat the crap out of it, As we were leaving and walking back the trail, a crystal apple tree appeared. And everybody else was standing around, oh wow, that's so beautiful, yeah,
Not you.
Not me. Jesse, tell me what I did even though you was not there.
You either tried to eat it or chop it down.
Nope, I went and picked one and took a bite.
Okay.
And everybody was like, oh man, what's gonna happen? And rolled the dice, and I shot a lightning bolt out of my chest toward the south. Once I did that, I mean, they spent like 10 minutes or so talking about the tree. I just went up there and took a bite. And after I took that bite, everybody else had to go take bites. It's like...
You're a trendsetter then.
Yeah.
Do you actually roll dice, or do you roll... How do you roll dice?
With dice. Because the game master likes to see them because there's one player who tries to fudge a little bit.
Do they just tell you your numbers then, or?
Well, Clint does. I mean, he sits right there beside me.
Okay.
Anyway, so yeah, I wanted to get some apples and make some mead out of them. But they had to go and eat all the apples before I could get a chance to pick anymore. We had a human...
Total party kill. Start killing them all.
Well, it came close because one player was a human monk. He dropped down to like 2 feet tall. Then he ate some more, and he's now a Goliath that's like 8 feet tall. I think Clint's little halfling has turned blue, so everybody's calling him a Smurf. Well, we made it back to town. Did the whole like role playing thing, and this one character said that he was going to go in and do something to this magic shop lady, and she was a level 17, some kind of monk. I can't remember what the game master said. One blow, total kill. I mean, like total kill.
Why would you ever try to mess with a...
Well, he didn't know that she was level 17.
Yeah, but... Okay.
Yeah, but it is a magic shop. He is a new player. He is a new player. He will have a new character next time we meet.
Yeah.
But they were getting ready to do that, and the game master was like, anybody want to do anything? I was like, yep, I want to place 5 gold on Granny. Of course, everybody else then started betting. I'm like, Jesus.
Everybody copied off you.
I know. I was like, there goes all my money.
Now, how many of them other than Clint do you know?
Megan, who was part of our local group.
Okay.
And I know one of the other ones, I just don't know him well. But I mean, it's a lot of fun. I've gotten to know a couple of the other ones,
Is the party dynamic good? Like, I know sometimes that takes work. Like if you're all new people.
Yeah. It's really good.
That's good.
There's always one.
Yep.
Always one.
Yep.
But hope everybody's enjoyed the podcast. Thank you for tuning in. Again, happy Halloween.
Yep. Happy
And
Halloween.
remember to like, share, and
subscribe.
This episode is brought to you by the Knights of the Braille and is made possible through the support of viewers such as you. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to get all of the latest information and episodes. Thank you.